Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to March Mystery Madness, a venerable BookTube event that I have been sorely neglecting in the second half of the month. We dedicate all of March to celebrating murder mysteries in all of their different shapes and sizes. If you read a murder mystery in March, you have participated in March Mystery Madness. And I love the event. I love murder mysteries. I look forward to it every year. This year I was going great guns a-blazing. Then I had a house guest, and that threw everything off, and I continued to read murder mysteries, lots of them, including lots of the indie stuff that just gets recommended to me. But I somehow stopped making regular videos, and now there's only a couple of days left in March, so I wanted to finish out the month by returning to those videos. I have been governing most of my mystery reading this month according to one of the prompts for March Mystery Madness, which is in its 9th year. So one of the prompts is to read the 9th book in a series, whatever that is. A lot of murder mystery series got to number 9. So I've been doing a lot of that. Lately, these last few days, I've been wandering all over the map. I've been reading things that weren't murder mysteries still, but that weren't 9th in the series. But I did read a 9th in the series last night. I think it was a reread for me, but it's a little bit hard for me to remember. This is a series that I've never really gotten along with. It's an author I've never really gotten along with. Certainly a main character I've never really gotten along with. But I thought I'd give it another try. The character is Travis McGee. I just recently found a big Avenel one-volume omnibus of 5 Travis McGee novels. And I've read probably 4 or 5 Travis McGee novels. I don't think I've read them all. But there was a time there in the 1980s, I think, when their mass market paperbacks had a very pleasing design here in the U.S. Just a uniform design. And I got a lot of those. This one, this is not that design. And I don't think I ever read this one. This is number 9 in the series for Travis McGee. This is Pale Gray for Guilt. And it is the story of John MacDonald's signature character, Travis McGee, who is an all-purpose adventurer in Florida. He's a salvage collector, is the kind of euphemistic term. Basically, criminals come to him because they've lost something that they stole, and they need him to help find it and reclaim it. He's a tough guy. I'm always a little bit vague as to just what kind of a tough guy he is. There are some of these books, some of the Travis McGee novels that I've read make him seem young. Some still in his 20s. And some make him seem older. Some there was one that I read that I thought sure that it made reference to him being a military veteran. He's big and tough, and he sets harsh terms for the criminals that he deals with. He himself is not a criminal, so he sets harsh terms for them and is not afraid at all of getting into trouble. If you cross Travis McGee, you're going to have problems. And it's a very atmospheric thing for the Florida of its day. For instance, in this book, I don't think I've ever read this before. This is all about rapacious developers, marina developers. That here they are, a take it or leave it type of walk-on villain. It's only reading this thing came out 60 years ago. So now we know that the marina developers win. Bad as they are, suitcases full of money, reflective sunglasses as they are, they do end up winning. In this book, Travis McGee, who famously lives on a boat, he lives on a boat that he won in a card game called the Busted Flush. One of his old friends owns a piece of marina property and doesn't want to develop it and doesn't want to sell it to land developers, who are, in this book, getting more and more pushy and powerful and more organized. And they're more and more also in cahoots with the government and with the police. And all those forces start to work against Travis McGee's friend. He starts to find the one and only road to his property is constantly under construction, starts to find all sorts of liens and red tape regulations that are suddenly working against him where they were just silent before. And he complains about this to Travis McGee, of course, who's sort of a free spirit. He's largely concerned with his freedom and with his bedroom antics. which there are innumerable number, just innumerable. And that is one of my big problems with this series. One of the reasons that I've never been able to really cozy up to this series is that Travis McGee, John McDonnell thinks that he is fulfilling the fantasies of his readers of the day by having Travis McGee treat the various voluptuous women in his life as guinea pigs, as hamsters. So, you've got fine silky hair and you eat and you don't have a brain. You certainly don't have a personality, but I still feel it behooves me to be gentle to you and kind to you. He listens sympathetically to his friend in his friend's complaints about how, I feel certain that my own ramshackle little business is going to make it big. I don't want to sell it out. I don't want to give in to these people. I want to make it on my own. He's sympathetic to his friend, and then his friend ends up dead. In what looks like maybe a suicide. Like maybe his pressures got to him. And Travis McGee is therefore immediately involved. He is immediately involved. And an adventure plot unfolds from there. He determines that his friend did not commit suicide, but was in fact horribly murdered. And starts to get a line on the people who might have wanted that to happen, although the plot line in this book about who might have wanted that murder to happen quickly diverges from the plot line of who actually committed the murder. Those two people might know each other, they might be working for the same thing, but they're not the same people. John McDonnell does this really well. This is really, really well executed stuff. I don't think it's ever going to work for me. I just don't think it is. It's not a question of the locale. Because Randy Wade White is one of my favorite Florida thriller writers. I think he's incredible. I've never read a book by his that I didn't love. But so it's not that. It's not the venue. It's not what the kids call the vibe. It's not even the unbelievable sexism. I mean, the sexism is there, but it's less noticeable in this book than in the last Travis McGee novel I read was years and years ago. It might have been when it first came out. And in that book, his sexual prowess is virtually supernatural. It virtually has supernatural effects. And that sort of stuff, I start to want to just confine it to the letters column of the Playboy magazine and leave it out of the novels. But the character devices are done here. The dialogue is pretty good. There's a little action scene in the middle of the book and then a big action scene at the end. They're both done really well. I thought that, the big reveal about who would want McGee's friend dead is obvious from the beginning. Of course, those rapacious developers are the people who want him to either knuckle under to them or get out of the way. That's well done. It goes on a little bit long. There's a little bit too much in this book about land development and real estate liens and whatnot. A little bit more than you want for a thriller. But the other plot line, not so much about who wanted his friend dead, but rather who actually killed his friend, that just simmers way in the background forever and ever, and then goes hyperactive at the end of the book and ensnares Travis McGee and also the individual person involved is, to put it mildly, unsatisfying as a choice on McDonnell's part. Just, I don't know what it is. I've been thinking about this all day because I can't say that this is bad. I can't say that it's technically inept. I can't even really say that it's all that dated. I mean, the women in McGee's life, yes, that part is incredibly dated, but not maybe the rest of it. I don't know. I always hate to say, to get to all this point, to rattle off that list of things that are positive and then finally just say, it's just not working for me. This author just doesn't do it for me. Because I like to think that if an author is doing all of those things well, then perforce that author will work for me. I mean, what else is there? I'd like to say, what else is there? But there must be something else here, because this is all extremely well done, and it still didn't work for me. I don't know. Some of you are probably big Travis McGee fans. You could probably tell me, is this a weak novel in the series? it didn't strike me as particularly weak. I mean, it's not. I remember being more excited by especially the second half of Travis McGee novels, other Travis McGee novels that I've read, certainly than I ever felt with this one. Pulse never rose in this one. Is that true? Is this, do you largely consider this to be a sort of a second-rate McGee story? I don't know. That could be it. This is the only one I'm going to read for March Mystery Madness. This is the 9th in the series, so I'm going to move on from here. But that's my report for March Mystery Madness, is that it's another sort of dud of a book. And that feels weird to say because there was nothing bad about it. There was nothing wrong with it. It just didn't work for me. Oh, I hate saying that. We'll move on. I'll do a couple more entries for March Mystery Madness before the end of the month. But I wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten the event, for Pete's sake, considering I'm one of the co-hosts. So I'll wrap this up for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, BookTube.